I'm so inspired, also slightly depressed, but very inspired. I wanted to paddle and talk to the dolphin. Big decision that I am not gonna open. I lost the sense of myself. I saw the ad, first class is for free.
It worked the same for me.
I'm single. Worked my ass off, came back still poor. Do you want to take my studio? Yeah. Do you want to travel the world? Yeah. Do you want to go to? Yeah. This is life.
Hello, welcome to my show Between Times, and today we have a new guest, the professional pole dancer Anete Blaua. Thank you for joining the show.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Beautiful day to do it.
It's like blink if you were forced to come outside. Yeah, it's very cold, but we came here because this is a special place. It's will be part of the story, and we will reveal it. Yeah. What should we start with? Like, how do you feel today after all these days of judging and? You are here for a longer time because you don't live here in Latvia now.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's up?
I don't even know where to start. I came earlier to get a bit of a sense of being back in Riga, because this is always going to be my home, and to meet my people. And then the competition started, and it was like 2 days of complete craziness because there were so many participants, and it was, I think, more than 300 participants, and seeing every single performance, not from a perspective when you're just looking at it and just enjoying the view. You actually have to look at it through judging scores, and that is overwhelming after it, especially when you want to digest. And as I mentioned to you before, a couple of minutes before, that I think I haven't slept 3 nights after it, like in between and after, because I still had the stage in my dreams, and the lights and the loud music and random people on the stage, because my mind just couldn't switch off, because there's so many amazing performances, and you still go through that motion. What did I give? Which number I gave? Well, how did I judge this? Like, you would question yourself, because it's a big responsibility to do. And I'm an overthinker. Yeah, that's I will leave that for my therapy sessions. But but yeah, most of it, like, I got so much, like, a wave of inspiration afterwards. I feel like I should train more. That's one thing. But I feel like for me I think I should start putting even more focus on the artistic expressions, and allowing myself work more on figuring out my ways or my style or whatever, like, but just put a more focus on expressing rather than showing. It's not about showing off or showing. It's in art, especially in competitions like this, it's more about what do you want to say.
Yes.
What is the message? And the ways you choose to say it, I think it's so much more important than any trick on that stage. I mean, we do appreciate skill and technique above everything in trick session, but when we look at the overall everything, it's like, sometimes it feels like, okay, what was this about? And when I feel like, yes, the artist had things to say, or there was a message to say, but you didn't say it maybe in a way that we heard it. And it's not only just about understanding, it's about feeling. And I'm like, it's so important to feel that. That's why some scores would look different in the end, because you did not kind of pull me into your world.
Touch, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't find a way. It doesn't mean you're worse or better. It's like there's always going to be another competition, another way, another tools how to express. Some people tell their own stories because it's easier to connect and, like, really, like, give the raw energy of it. Or some people just take it from experiences, from books, from movies, whatever, gave them this feeling. But one is feeling it yourself, the other thing is making other people feel.
Yeah.
And I think that is, in my opinion, a thing that artists should do. Make the audience either question, feel, or just like, if you're thinking about a performance the day after, that means the job was done.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about the performance after a week, months, and years afterwards, people still remember it, that means the job was done astonishingly good, like, and magically well.
I would like to go very, very back to when it all started for you, your journey in Pole. And I asked from where are you? You're from Jelgava, so I'm even more interested how it all changed, how you moved to Riga, and when appeared the Pole.
Oh, how much time do we got?
Not much.
Not much, no. So in short, if I remember correctly, I think I moved to Riga around 18, 19. I'm not sure. I was running away from Jelgava because I really don't like it. I'm like, I'm never keen on going back there. It's like, yes, it's nice to walk through your old school. Like, there's good memories there, but
But why now?
it was just boring. It was just, there was nothing to do. So it's like, I'm since I was a kid, I always was searching for something, like this restless, what's my purpose? I'm 16. Chill the fuck. No, I was like, no, I need to find this one thing that I will do, and I will do it good, when you're trying to find your worth, which is not the most healthiest way, probably. Again, that's a moment for me and my therapist. But in a sense, I was doing so many things to find something that would really make sense to me in a longer time. And moving to Riga was one of the things that made sense because everything is happening here. And since I was a child, I really wanted to dance. That was the thing I really always wanted to do. But when I was a kid, I was swimming. And I remember competition swimming. I think I was really young, like 9, 10 years, whatever. And I loved swimming, but I hated competing. I hated it. And but apparently I was okay. I don't think I was really good. I think I was okay. That's why my parents didn't want me to leave, because we couldn't afford dancing and swimming. So when I said I want to really, really leave, they said, okay, you have a month. Still keep going to your swimming classes, and then if you still don't like it, then you could go dance.
So wise.
So wise, yeah. I actually did go to dance. I chose at that point in Jelgava was Caprice. Some of those dancers are world known now, but I thought hip hop is the thing, But unfortunately, I went there for not a long time because the summer came, and then they had the summer camps. And if you don't go to the summer camp, you can't learn all the choreographies because they're learning in the summer camps the choreographies. I still went back afterwards because I couldn't go to the camp because I didn't have money. My parents didn't have money. And when I went back, I didn't know all the choreographies. I think I went for a little while there, but I was so bad. Like I was always a slow learner. I needed more time with things, and especially with dance, because I was like, no, it has to come naturally. And for the moment, for me to come naturally, I have to get the reps in, a lot of reps in. And at some point, I quit. I can't remember why I quit. And then there was a loads of other things, but that was way before. I think I was 14, 16, can't remember. Either way, as you can see, my memory sucks. Like,
mine too.
My memory is so bad. Either way, when I moved to Riga, I was actually studying journalism in Stradin University. And because at that point when I finished school, the only thing that I was interested in was writing, which I really love doing still, but like no one should read it because it's like, messy. But I found that was something really, really cool. But again, that summer, I think I was in the university for the first year. Then I went for the summer to work to Greece as a bartender to earn some money. Didn't earn any money. It was a shitty bar, shitty pay, everything, like literally. Worked my ass off, came back still poor. Either way, I came back a bit too late, so I couldn't apply to the student loan. So I was searching through banks a better loan, but those loans were a lot too many percentage to pay, so I couldn't continue because I was like, fuck, I fucked it up. I can't pay my own studies, but I still went to the classes for about 4 months without paying. I don't know how the fuck I did it. I can't remember how. Did I tell them anything or it just appeared into the class? I don't know, because I loved studying there. I loved the system they had, because they were a short model system where you're just learning for a couple of months, you're learning couple of subjects, and then you do the exam right after. So you don't have to learn the whole year, all subjects, then the big exams. But after that, I was like, okay, what do I actually want to do? That year gave myself a rest, figuring out. I was working in loads of bars, making cocktails and drinks. And then somehow I think I came up that I think I would want to teach. I think I would want to coach.
How? Maybe because of swimming and dancing?
Swimming, yeah, and lifeguarding, and I was...
also that already.
Yeah, no, that actually came after academy. Yeah, that came after academy. I actually don't know why I figured it out, but at that point, how funny it sounds, I didn't swim. I actually started doing boxing.
Oh, you tried many things. Cool.
I used to ride a BMX bike as well for one summer because I thought I could just be like next Marsh Stromberg, so why not? Fuck it. Like, either way, I did boxing for a couple of months, so I got into Academy of Sports in the boxing area. Like, you have to choose your sport, so I chose boxing. I was like, fuck it. Yeah, I have no shame. I actually have no shame. Fuck it. So it was nice and all, but like I was the only girl, obviously, doing like boxing. And the problem with that, how do you say in English, cathedra? Yeah, I think it was very old school. So the main person in that boxing area, he used to say stuff like, oh, one day you like boxing, another day you like the boxer. Oh, and then he said something like, because whenever we had trainings, he would never help me out with my techniques or anything. He would help the boys, but he would not come to me. So I would just spar on my own fucking, like, am I doing this right? You know, like, it's like, help me out here, you know? And thank God I had a good coach on my own, but still, I was like, I'm in here for a specific reason, to learn, you know? And then he said, oh, don't worry, like, you will have a job afterwards. Secretaries always needs to be in boxing. I was like, I don't want to be a secretary. I actually want to fucking do boxing. Like, what the fuck? But then after a while, I actually sat down, started to think rationally, tried to think rationally, like, do I really want to fight in a ring? Do I really want concussions and all that stuff that comes with it? So I was like, maybe I want to like switch. So I still stayed in academy, but I switched to swimming. Mm-hmm. So, and I started swim again, just to kind of be in the lane of it. And I felt like it's less stressful. No one degrades me. There are no misogynistic fucking lines about like girls can't box. Mm-hmm. I was like, I wish for that person, hopefully is still alive and can see the world of boxing for women has evolved. Like, it's not as shitty as he thought it's gonna be. It's actually pretty interesting to watch. But but I'm like, swimming, yeah, it was a bit easier. And then I stayed there and studied. Then year 2015, I was already a lifeguard. How I got there, I think I did the lifeguard education that we had. I don't think we have it anymore. The 2 weeks of lifeguard tests, because I thought, like, I love swimming. It goes well with my swimming, lifeguarding, helping people. That makes sense. That gives me purpose. Okay, fuck it, let's do it. And I did it. I got the certification. And then I applied afterwards for a job in summer, and then I stayed also the whole year through, and which counts me down that I was a police inspector. Just like,
Okay.
when I tell this to people, it's not so funny. Well, actually, yeah, I was a lifeguard, but yeah, if you want to be a lifeguard also during winter in Jurmala, you have to give some tests to become a police officer. So basically that I was. Like I just still can't comprehend like what the fuck, Annette? Like what else will you come up with? And
And in 2015,
in
I saw the picture of
2015,
you on fall when I was scrolling. So I was like,
yeah.
2015.
Yes, that was the year. Because I wanted something new, something with dance. And that dance, like I never danced actually. I did go to some classes. There was a couple of like 3 months of a period, 5 months, 6 months, maybe a year somewhere. But it wasn't actually dancing. Dancing like in a sense like I want to actually do it, you know, like consistently for years. And it was very hard to find something for adults, let's be honest. At that time, adult dancing was not a thing. When I was 18, 20, it was very hard to find something that you can actually, that was actually beginner, you know. Either way, I went to my first pole dance class in Jana's studio, which is Feel Good, because I saw the ad, first class is for free.
It worked the same for me. This is how I entered there.
Yes, it actually did fucking work. But after the first class, I think I already bought the subscription, you know, for 8 classes, whatever I could afford.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, it was gone already because I was going to 2 classes in a row whenever I could. But my schedule was fucking crazy. I was working 3 jobs and studying in academy. And I was like, how can I squeeze this in? And also I was competing and preparing for powerlifting because I was powerlifting back then as well. So I was like, how can I squeeze this in as well? And I was like, fuck. Either way, I managed to squeeze it in. I think I was going, I think it started in April. I think it was April. 3 months I went there. 3 beautiful months. In those 3 months, Christina, my friend Christine, I don't know how to say it properly in English. She was planning to open a studio right here. Not here. There's nothing there. Right
But we can
here.
walk.
We'll walk there. Yes.
We can actually speak and
Yeah.
walk.
And she was. One of the instructors just said, because I'm already studying academy, so which means I can teach as well, because you need to have some sort of education to teach here in Latvia. And also I was learning fast, as she said, she's learning fast. Well, yeah, I was strong. I was not flexible, but I was strong. I remember that day because I was working in a lifeguard station. I saw a call from her. So either I called her back or I picked up the call. And I was like, hey. And she was like, hey, so here's the deal. I'm opening a studio and I'm going to need instructors.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. She was like, would you want to teach for me, like in the studio? And I was like, didn't even blink. I was like, fuck yeah. Because I fell in love with pole dance so
You
much.
yet didn't teach, right? There in Feel Good, or you did?
No, I did not know.
Just
I was a very newbie. Like I was saying, I'm literally 3 months in. I think 3 months. When I found that out, I was just maybe 2.5 months in there. I don't know, but not long. Not very long, maybe 3 months. See, my memory is so shit. Either way. And then, she started building the studio, but I needed a place to train more because I felt like I don't understand anything. Because I was like, what is beginner, where is not beginner? You know the drill, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, no one teaches you that. You have to discover on your own.
Especially back then.
Especially back then. And I was not going to one person. I was just going to the classes I could make it time-wise. So one day I would go to Anna, one day I was with Sasha, one day I was with Jana because she was teaching back then. I think Sarmita maybe was teaching as well, I can't remember, but like I had several different people and so I didn't, and everyone was teaching differently, which is great. But once you need to choose your teacher to kind of grasp the gradual approach of the way you need to get used to your teacher so you can actually grasp the information. So my head was in chaos, full-on chaos. And that's why I said to Christine, that I need a place to train. Like otherwise, like I can't be. So the studio was still on the building, but she put one pole so I can train. So that whole summer, I trained my ass off because I was like, oh my God, I was so stressed. I was like, if I need to teach in 3-4 months, what if this level comes? Like, how will I be able to teach? What if like advanced people come to my class accidentally, you know? I'm like, I barely can invert, you know? I was like, and I think, yes, I did train for 4 hours a day. A lot those 3 months, like afterwards as well, but those 3 months were very intense. I still kept going to the gym, I still kept working and everything, and still kept my 3 jobs. But when I started teaching there, slowly I had to put things down, like, because I was teaching swimming as well in the army pool, MBS.
Police, army.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I asked you, where do we start? How much time do we got? So, so I was teaching swimming. I still worked in the bars, but I was working in the bars like just the weekends, I think. And still was a lifeguard and still academy. That was my last year in academy, which was really, really super hard. The first job that had to go, I think I went away from lifeguarding because that was 9 to 9. And I was like, I can't. When I started teaching, it's just impossible. I was the only instructor there at the start, like, and I had, like, it was impossible. Yeah, and then I was like, I stopped going to the bars. I don't think it was like freelance. Someone could call you in at some kind of events, whatever. I think I stopped doing that because I was like, no, I can't do it anymore. And then the very last one that had to go was swimming. Teaching to swim, because I was like, I can't do that anymore as well, because I'm like, my head was exploding with all the things I was trying to do at once. And yeah, then it started full-time teaching, full-time. Insane. And then after that, Christina just came up with a nice decision that she wanted to close the studio.
Oh, so but for how long the studio existed, and was it like it was your both studio or you just teach there?
I was just teacher. She opened it with another girl, Diana, and they were like co-owners together. Then over a while that changed, and then in the end, I think it was a year, maybe a year and a half after, if I'm remembering correctly. But like, bear with me, my facts might not be very straight, okay? Because like I can't remember everything perfectly. But I feel it was after a year and a half that she said she's planning to close it. And I was like heartbroken because I have my students, it's my second home, like, and I love what I do. I know it's hard, I know I'm earning shit money, I know I'm probably gonna stay poor all my life, but I'm like really, really want to do it, you know, and keep doing it. And she was like, well, I can give it to you. I'm like, what? So I had a couple of days, I think I was thinking about it, because it comes with a price. It always comes with a price, making these kind of decisions, you know. And I just said yes, and here we are. So somewhere there.
Here.
Yeah, but and then I think 2 more years I was being a studio owner, which I'm gonna really, really be honest, I really didn't like it. I don't like to be a studio owner. It's too much. I lost the joy of teaching just because you were so stressed about paying bills and just everything, and it was too much for me. Even though I was doing fucking 3, 45, 55 jobs at the same time and training every fucking day, blah, blah. But like, owning a studio felt even harder than all that. So this is a message to all studio owners.
Level of responsibility.
Think twice before you fucking open a studio. It's not an easy job. Like, you know, when you hear and like, I'm gonna open a studio, I'm like, are you sure? You know, are you sure? Do you really, really want to do it? Like, because that was my experience. Because I think it was a time when it wasn't popular in Riga at all. Like, it was just coming in Riga, and still people were like, don't talk about it. Do not post my pictures so that no one knows. Like, and I was like, but it's still fun, like. And I was like, I couldn't promote properly because the girls were so shy, so I couldn't put pictures with my students and stuff like that. And back in the day, that was important, so the people can trust and come into your doors, you know. So it was very hard work getting people in those doors, in a sense. Right now, I think it's so much easier because people know what it is. And you can choose if you don't want to dance in heels, you don't dance in heels, you do tricks. If you want to dance in heels, you dance in heels. Like, it's your choice. You don't have to do this or that, like, or you can do everything if you want, or do nothing if you want, you know. But,
How you made that decision that you will close the studio? Like, what was the reason, and what was that last drop? Why?
well, I didn't want to close. It was hard, but at that point I didn't want to close. But unfortunately, they were selling the building, and they gave me 6 months notice, which seems like, oh, that's enough time. It wasn't enough time. I had no money, no savings in the studio. I was barely paying my own salary, and moving into a new place, building it up, it's expensive. And at that point, bank would not give me enough of a loan so I could afford to rebuild. But I still was hopeful. All those 6 months with my friend, she was helping me out. And my friend was actually helping me out with a lot of accounting stuff because I'm really bad at it. I'm terrible. Just don't show me papers and numbers. I'm like, I can't do it. But we both were kind of looking at places, but every single place I think I could afford monthly wise needed a really reconstruction. Like, and I couldn't go down to what I had because my studio was kind of big, okay-ish size. We had our showers, we had our nice little dressing room, we had our nice little parking lot, as you can see, okay? So I couldn't go down to a smaller place with no parking lot because everyone drives and they're used to that. And also I had this idea, I will never open a studio with one hall. There has to be minimum 2, so you can do 2 classes at the same time because people in Latvia don't share poles. And because of that thing, because people don't share poles, paying rent is much harder.
Of course.
So either way, and yeah, I couldn't find anything in those 6 months, but I still was hopeful. So, but we had to move out. The mirrors were glued, so the mirrors had to stay in the studio. I did try to take them off, but it didn't work well. 7 years of bad luck. Either way, the floor as well. Christine put a good floor that unfortunately had to stay there. The poles were static poles. So there was not much of use of them. So basically everything, just the showers, yeah, and some stuff we could take with us, but like most of it just literally was in the building. And I went to Olga's studio, Scorpion's Pole.
Where we will go now.
Where we will go now, yes. So with all my students, I just like called her and was like, Olga,
We're coming.
I need a new home for now with my students. And she opened the doors with fucking all arms open. She was so sweet about it. She was like, yes, of course. And I was like, I have still like old subscriptions, new subscriptions. So we worked all that out. And so the students had a place to train. I can still teach. And it actually started working so well and natural, working together. Like, and at some point after a couple of months, my students are asking, so how's the new studio going? How's the new, I'm like, I don't think there's going to be a new studio. I found myself that I prep for classes. I had time to prep for classes. I found my love in teaching again in a different level. I found joy in that, and I was like, I forgot all about how much I actually loved the teaching while I had the studio because I had no fucking time, you know, and I was all the time worried and like close to nervous breakdown sometimes, like how the fuck will I pay rent, like, or pay my instructors, because I had a couple of instructors afterwards, and I'm like, it's a stressful job, you know, and I'm like, fuck, and I now don't have all that stress. I can just focus on my students getting better, having better classes, giving them more quality, you know, and so I made this big decision that I am not going to open.
We are in the Scorpion studio, yes. So, what do you feel being here?
Home. It feels like home every time I come back. It's the first place I want to come in, and normally Olga is always the first person I always see when I come back, because she insists to wait me at the airport. I think every time I came back, she's always in the airport waiting for me, and I'm like, that's so sweet. And then every time I'm like, should I move back? It's like it's always like that. It's like it's always going to be my home, and there's so many sweat and tears into this studio, because I remember when prepping for competitions, and very often we would prep at the same time, and we would support each other or plan training sessions together, and she would scream for me like, go again, and I would do the same for her, and we would like kind of motivate each other. At the same time, we would tell each other honest critique, because if she would ask me like, I need you to look at my choreography or look at my tricks, like, and I would do the same, like, Olga, what do you think, should I take this, is this nice vibration between us. And I think I love the studio so much because of her.
At some point, appeared online classes, like you have it at Vimeo. It's very special, I think, because like I see how other people do this online, and like how you came up with that, when it did appear, and yeah, a little bit about that experience. And it's still going, right?
It's still going, yeah. Thankfully. Somehow it's going. Well, it actually started during COVID. And my boyfriend at that time was like, I think you will need to start doing online classes. And I'm like, no, I hate online classes. I can't be doing this. I don't see them. I don't like, I was really like held back for it. Then I was like, okay, fuck it. I'll trust you. And I started doing it. And I was surprised that the students were signing up so quite a lot. Like I thought no one would show up. To be fair, I thought, why would anyone take my fucking online classes? And then it kind of started growing. So that's how it started. And then COVID was almost ending, I think, at that point. But I felt like there's just too complicated. You have to create those links and everything, and then like you have to put those recordings, keep them, because I was doing YouTube lives rather than Zooms, because of the quality, because the recording quality was YouTube better. Also, to be fair, it's a lot easier for them to kind of, I don't see them, which is not easier for me, but it's easier for them, especially recording wise, because if I don't see them, I teach differently. I teach like I'm predicting the mistakes they're gonna need, or blah, 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 blah. And if they really have a question, they can type, which kind of felt at that point, I felt the students everyone was doing it in Zoom, and I felt like maybe they think like YouTube is worse or whatever, but at least the recording quality was better. And my teaching style was very thorough, like in a sense, because I don't see them. So I'm like, I'm teaching every time like I'm blank page, and that's why some of those classes has had so much information, in a sense that some of the students had texted me afterwards, and even now sometimes, that some of the classes take them 2 weeks to do, which is like full on, and then my boyfriend at that time, a very smart man apparently, he had an idea to put all the classes I've already done during COVID on Vimeo for everyone to be able to purchase them, and I'm like, that's actually sounds like a good idea. So every new classes I do, they actually need to just subscribe my Vimeo.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. So my Vimeo already started with those classes being downloaded, uploaded on my Vimeo on demand. And yeah, he set it all up. To be fair, I have to say many, many thanks to that man. He set it all up, because I think it's the most complicated app on the universe. I still don't understand it. Like the statistics, I look at it, I'm like, I don't see the students. I see countries, I can see but I don't see the students. Like, how does it still work? Like, it's so fucking interesting. But I feel like for online classes, that would not be the best platform. At that time, it is really great, to be fair, because you just put those classes there. It's quite convenient because they have an app as well, so you can look at it in the app. You can download them so you can watch them offline while you're subscribing. There are a couple of bonuses. Subscription is super cheap. And they have access to what I have, like 160 classes already there. So it's like they just go whichever level they want and just do them for a month, you know. If they don't want, they unsubscribe. Simple, very simple, like me, you know. At the same time, that app is not simple. But it started after that I want to just put all my classes in one spot and just keep it as the library. And now I'm just putting tutorials and pre-recorded classes, because the last classes when the COVID was ending, you could have like 50 people booked your class, and I have 3 people online, you know, with me. And I felt like maybe there's no point of doing, because everyone's watching recording anyways. So what if I film them 4K quality, good video quality, edit them, cut the shit out where I go pee, where I need to sniff my nose, where I talk bullshit, just cut it out, you know, and they don't have to listen to all that shit, you know, and they just come, and the class is shorter, it makes more sense, you know, and it's more quality. That's what I thought. And that's how it kind of went going on. And I just kept putting on pre-recordeds, and people kept subscribing. And at some point, it was kind of flourishing. But it became somehow a passive income, in a sense of I didn't have the time to put as much energy in it as I would want to. That's why right now this is my year of putting more energy, the energy that it deserves, you know, and just figure out maybe new ways or whatever ways. Because I see like around, like yourself, how other people are doing it, and it's always so interesting to chat. Like I have had many chats with Dan about it, even with Jacob, like, and many advices as well, you know, like I'm doing this way, this way. I'm like, whoa, that's very smart, you know, because I'm not a technical person. And when I hear about people, the apps they use, the this, I'm like, oh my God, it's so complicated.
Experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking about onlines, like now you are worldwide known pole artist, pole instructor. And when did it come in that way? When you were started to ask with the workshops, and yeah, when you started to travel with them?
Well, it happened very fast, to be fair. In a sense, during COVID, I think because I was doing so many online classes online, the students abroad internationally got to know me, that I'm not a bitch, usually. I mean, to some I might be, who the fuck knows, but mostly I'm not a cunt, you know. I'm an honest human being, and I teach the way I teach. But like, I think they got to know me that that I can teach, because some people started to join online classes because they saw some tutorials on YouTube. Some people still are asking me, could you put more information, some more stuff on YouTube, which I need to go back at as well. It's a lot of work, but because they could see that I can actually explain. I don't expect you to know this. I will explain you how can I help you get there if you want to. And that's why they started joining online classes. And I think because of that, the students started asking the studio owners, because every time when I started traveling, it started basically quite soonish after COVID. Then when I traveled at first, I kept asking, like, how did you think of inviting me? You know, because I wasn't that known back then. And I'm like, because it's like I haven't been to so many competitions, and I haven't won that many things as well, you know. And every single time from the first travels, there was always this one student or couple of students that just kept asking the organizer. One of the organizers in Netherlands, she actually, the student came to me, but she told me, she was like, she wouldn't shut up about you. She wouldn't let me go. Like, I had to invite you. There was no choice. She just came and asked and asked and asked, and I was like, fine. So now we want to, for example, invite someone. So then she was like, okay, well, she was in the back of my mind because someone was kept talking, and so they chose. And the good thing is, I feel it's a really good thing that they keep asking me to go back, which for me, it means, okay, then I did something right if the people want me back. Of course, not all the places, because not all the studios do yearly workshops and stuff like that, but many of them do yearly workshops, and they do feel like, okay, see you back next year, you know, which is really, really cool to go to a place back where you know already the owners, you have stayed in their house, you met their husbands and children and cats and dogs, you know, and it's a wonderful thing. But I feel it also, the pole community is not as big as people might think. Everything is very, very connected. And I feel if you put out good energy towards your students and the people you meet, if you're kind and you're humble, you have to get paid, yes. But if you don't go overboard as well, you have to find this nice middle ground. Now, at least for me, I've always been interested, like, not to rip off the organizers. I've always been interested to make sure they at least earn something. So I'm like trying to find this middle ground as well, in a sense that I still need to earn, because that's my bread and butter. But at the same time, I really care. Was it worth for them? Even if they didn't earn much, was it worth energy-wise, example? Or did the students learn something? Do they have homework to do? Or did the organizers love having me? You know, did they have fun? Was it okay? You know, or did they not like me? And I don't know. Sometimes situations happen. Some energies don't work. Some energies do. And I think because of maybe positive feedback, that kind of escalated in a sense. And then, yeah, I will never forget the year that year when I decided to move, the end of the year, literally October, November, December, those 3 months, somehow my next year started to planning. Like even before that, like, would you come? And I was like, yeah, why not? You know, and then someone else, and was like, okay. Then a studio owner from Singapore asked me to go for a month. I was like, yeah, it's Singapore. Of course, you know, yeah, I'll be there. See you soon, you know. And then one of those studio owners, I think it was Germany, and she was like, what the fuck happened? I was like, what do you mean? She was like, you're everywhere now. She was like, what happened? What did you do? Why are you everywhere? What happened? Like, when I invited you, you were not traveling that much. Now you're traveling everywhere. How many countries have you already been? She was like, I don't know what happened. I can't explain. It just somehow, you know, it's like, I can't even say I would feel it started shortly after COVID, but I do feel the YouTube and the connection with international students kind of brought that up, because they have connections with other studios or the closest studio, and they would just put a word out. And sometimes that is enough for the ball to get rolling. Sometimes it isn't. I don't know. It's, I think, how the planet's set or something like that sometimes works. But I never expected that. When I started pole, I do remember a couple of years in, I was looking at those traveling instructors, and I was like, that's a fucking dream work, isn't it? You travel to these amazing places, you meet all the students, you're so connected to the pole community. And I was like, fuck, I wish. And I remember that day I was in my old studio, and I was like, that would be a fucking dream. I fucking wish that will happen. I will just keep grinding. I will do my work as good as I can. It will happen. I just had this in about, it will fucking happen. And that's when I started doing YouTubes, shitty tutorials, you know. You know, when you start.
We all start somewhere, right?
You have to start somewhere, you know. Started doing YouTube just to put my word out and put myself more out there, you know, because I already felt like I still did compete and did participate in competitions, but I felt at some point I started feeling that those competitions don't bring back as much as you give in anymore. Like, I don't know how it feels now, but for me, the last ones I did was not this summer. Oh, it is not summer yet. Summer before last summer. So which year was it? 2020?
23rd?
Yeah. So that's my last competition, which I did, was in UK, Elite Pole Championship, where they invite people. So they invited me. If they would not invite me, I would never fucking go, because I'm already traveling so much. I'm literally, my training schedule is all over the place. I wish to get back to more kind of sense of being more in the grind. But like, when I can, I train, but mostly when you travel, you're jet lagged, you need to look after yourself as well. You want to read a fucking book sometimes, you know, you want to kind of
Have life.
have a bit of a
Beside
life,
work.
especially in Ireland, because there's such a big social life, you know. And with my friends, there would always be like, okay, this weekend we're going, oh, are you in? This weekend, let's go surfing, or, you know, and you want to be a part of that because you want to live a life as well. Because before I moved, my life was training, training, teaching, teaching, training, teaching, ambition, ambition, growth. I was so like this, and that's also not good because I lost a sense of myself along the ride. And when I remember myself, I don't remember myself being depressed, but I do feel I probably was in a sense. But like Paul brings you so much joy. And I think that was pulling me out a lot. And my students brought me loads of joy, and my friends, and especially training here with Olga. It was a beautiful period of my life. But I feel I lost something. So that's how I think I just needed change. And traveling to Ireland, it was just like, fine, I'm leaving the country. Fine.
How you decided that it will be Ireland?
Well, it started all with a girl named Terry fucking Fierce. Like, oh, if she's gonna be listening to this, she's gonna be, what the fuck? And because in general, it did start with her, because she and her friend Sarah, Sarah is one of my best friends right now as well, and they were doing a couple of my online classes. That's how we connected. Terry was judging one of the competitions with Michael when I was competing, I think, in Croatia, maybe somewhere else as well, but like Croatia, I remember the both of them were judging. So they knew me, I knew them. But I mean, they were the judges. I'm like, who am I to talk to them, you know? Like, in a sense, I was in that mindset. I was like, ah, then, you know, and then she decided after COVID, she was like, she decided to invite me for workshops to Ireland. So maybe it actually escalated after that. I don't even know. But after COVID, those were my first workshops, I think. So, yeah. So I went to Ireland,
It was
and
inspiring, I guess. Like after COVID, just to travel somewhere and to teach workshops, you get inspired.
oh my God, yes. Oh my God, especially Ireland, when everyone's like, oh, everyone was so excited, like the amount of excitement and fear. I mean, they were so terrified. The students, I mean, like so terrified of like, because they didn't have workshops for a while as well because of the COVID. And, you know, this crazy chica, yeah, from fucking Eastern Europe, Latvia comes here to teach us what, like, you know, and, but it was so much fun. We had such a good time. And instantly, me, Terry, Michael, and Sarah, we clicked. Like, I don't know what happened there. We fucking clicked. In a sense of it's so much fun. It feels so natural. I feel like we're actually like friends, you know? And then I went back. And I went back just to hang out with them, but I did also a couple of workshops. And then I said I'm gonna come back in October, and I went back again in October for surfing. I don't even remember if I did any workshops. We just went for a surf trip and had some good time together. And I found myself that I don't want to come back. Not in a sense. I love my people. I love my family. I loved everyone, everything here in a sense. But I'm like, I like how I am here. I like how I feel here. I feel like I remembered myself that I'm actually a pretty fun person. I actually love surfing. I actually have other interests. I'm like, I enjoy the social life and communication and going out trips and stuff like that. You know, it feels like I was so here, and then it just like whoop, whoa, and this inner feeling, like, you know, I will never fucking forget this moment. So we were out surfing in this beautiful beach, like down a cliff. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. One of my favorite, I would say it's my favorite place in Ireland. And it was a shitty day. It was fucking raining because it's fucking Ireland. We were like putting on our wetsuits. Oh my God, you guys sure it's fucking cold, you know? And I'm like, ah. But we went out anyways, so we were surfing in. The waves were kind of shit as well, so I just like paddled in further and just sat on the board, and I was like, ah, oh, peace. you know, because it was raining, but you were wet anyway, so who cares? So at some point I was like, okay, where are my friends? You know, because I paddled in, because I thought I saw a dolphin. Okay, here's the story. I paddled in because I thought I saw a dolphin. So yes, I wanted to paddle and talk to the dolphin, you know. I was like, because my dream is to see and surf with dolphins, you know.
And you were ready. Yeah.
I was fucking ready. I can't surf, but I'm ready. I'm fucking ready. So I paddled in. I thought I saw a dolphin. So I sat there and just looked around. You know, there's no fucking dolphins here. I'm like, shit. But suddenly I looked to my right. I saw the most beautiful sun ever. Like it suddenly just came. No, I looked to the left. I saw the sun. Yes, let's be specific. This I want to say specific. Which year? Don't care. But like I looked to the left and I saw the sun. It was gorgeous because the cliff and everything. Then I looked to the right. Most beautiful rainbow ever I have ever fucking seen. It was all the colors you could see. It was humongous, massive rainbow. You could see where it starts and where it goes. I was like, beautiful. I don't know. I wasn't on drugs, I promise. I was not high. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, where the fuck are my friends? Because, you know, like, because I was like, I felt like the time stopped. So I felt like it was a year later, you know, where are my friends? And I looked to the beach searching for my friends. And it's like a romantic movie, you know, and there was like, people riding horses on the beach. I was like, where the fuck am I? I was like, rainbow, the beautiful sun. You know, the weather was so shit when we went in, you know, and suddenly it's just like, boom. You know, the dolphin that wasn't there, the rainbow that actually was there, the beautiful sun. I looked to the beach and was like, horses. I was like, why the fuck not? Like, amazing, you know? But that moment, I was like, my breath was, it changed. It just fucking changed. I just sat on that board and I was like, this is life. This is what it means when people say feeling alive. Like, and it was something so fucking magical. Every time I tell this story, I probably make it up. The rainbow was even bigger, you know. The sun was even, you know, just to like. But that's how I felt that moment, you know. I felt like I never want to lose this feeling. I never ever want to lose this feeling because I think I've lost it. I lost the sense of life and nature, staying connected to the nature. The surfing taught me so much as well. Like, insane. There's lessons in every fucking surf. But yeah, that's one of the reasons when I felt like I don't want to lose that feeling, and then I decided yeah, I came back to Riga and it just hit me. It just hit me. And there was many other reasons, but that was one of the reasons that fuck it. And I just followed my gut. And another lesson, like in short, like very, very in short, but I was kind of chasing that sense of self. And I think only this year in Bali, of course, where else?
Magical place.
Magical place. I had a weird sense that I felt like I'm a bit lost inside. And I spent 3 weeks in Bali, not working finally. And I was going to yoga classes, 7 a.m., which is so not me. I was like, who the fuck am I? Like 7 a.m., I'm going to yoga class. But for that guy, I would go to any yoga class. The way he was leading that class was amazing. And in that class, either way, he just said this one little sentence that stayed with me and made me understand the journey of these 2 years of being away in a different way. A journey never ends, though. There's going to be more lessons, I'm pretty sure. But that one was like, when he was talking about movement, because it was a flow. So the name of the class was water. So, and he was showing positions, but like you don't need to be specific or strict in the positions. And then he just said, like, if there's a moment when you feel a little bit lost in your movement, just remember, you are your home. And I can't quote it in the way he said it. It's just like, he just said, home is wherever you are. So no matter if you feel lost, just don't stress about it and just like stay calm and stay in the positions if you want to stay longer. And he said it in such a calm way. And that was the first yoga class I took in years. I'm not a yoga person at all. After that day, I think I might be. And the way I can't, like the way he said it, I don't know why, but I had instantly tears in my eyes. I had instant tears in my eyes. I was like, oh my God, I'm in my first yoga class at 7 a.m. in the morning, gonna cry like 20 minutes in. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? But after that, I just had to like sit down and think about it. Why did it touch me so much? And we hear what we want to hear at moments when we need it the most. And at that moment, I really needed to kind of like a warm hand on the heart, in a sense, like it's going to be okay. No matter what choices you make, wherever you decide to be, you are your home. You make your home. And it doesn't, because I felt a bit like, I felt homesick. But then I was like, if I come back to Riga, I will miss Ireland. Then if I stay in Ireland, I'm going to miss Riga. Maybe I want to live in Australia. Maybe I want to stay in Bali. Maybe I should move here. You know, I was in a mindset, maybe I had thoughts, maybe I should move to Bali. Like, fuck it, this is amazing life, you know, just renew your visa every 6 months. Fine, who cares, you know? Cheap as fuck, like, and you can surf every fucking day, you know? At the same time, I'm like, these are big decisions to be made. These are not just like, oh, I sit and do what I want, but like you have to see where you feel good. And I was on the verge of it, like, and that kind of calmed me. And after that trip, the only thing I wanted to give myself is time. Like, there's no fucking rush. Like, time will always tell what's the right way, what's the best way. And I'm always the rushy person. I'm so impatient. I'm like, let's do this now. Yeah, I'm like this. I need it now. That's why in pole, it helped me a lot, because I couldn't stop training because I needed to be done now. Like, you know, I was like training so much. I wanted to be professional level. I was year one in. My mind is already, I want to be a pro. It was like, when I started surfing, I was joking about it though. But I was telling to people, yeah, I love it so much. Watch me. Next year I'm going to be a pro. Of course not. Of course not. I knew it's not impossible, but I was like, okay, in 5 years. Also no. Also not going to happen. It's too difficult and you need to live by the sea to do that. But for me, it's like, calm the fuck down. You don't have to be pro to enjoy things. You don't have to be super good at things to enjoy those things. Like, maybe because I wanted to, I was laughing at myself this morning. I was actually taking a shower and was like, what questions Diana will ask me? I was like, she will probably ask me, why the fuck did I move to Ireland? And I was like, and I will answer her. I just need a change. And then I had this nice dialogue with myself, as I do every fucking day. And like, I could have done so many other things to change. Like, I could have started pottery class or whatever. Like, I could have just, I don't know, do jiu-jitsu. No, I decided to move fucking countries because the girl needed change. I'm such a, like, maximalist, you know? I can't, like, just do something. Like with Paul, I could have just done it in a sense of, like, enjoy it. No, are you want to teach? Yeah. Do you want to take my studio? Yeah. Do you want to travel the world? Yeah. Do you want to go to? Yeah. Give me all of it.
Just say yes to life.
Like the fucking academy. Why can't I just enjoy boxing? No, I want to now be a fucking professional boxer. Like, I feel like I might have a slight kind of ADHD or something. I know. Again, conversation with my therapist. But either way, it's just it is good and it is bad, because like I can't drink a half of a cup. I feel like I need all of the cup and make it even bigger. Like, in a sense, it's good, but it's also in life. I don't think in relationships it's good. Like, when we talk about hobbies and stuff, it's nice, you go all in, good for you, well done, you know. in relationships, it's like I have such a high expectation, I think, from myself and from people around me, not my friends. Like I know my friends, like, and they know me, like, like there's no expectations anymore. It's like it is what it is, you know. But with relationships in general, with the opposite or the same gender, because I believe in love, not genders, like, and it's like for me, that is the thing that I really feel like it's hard to combine. That's why I'm very interested always to talk to pole dancers that travel a lot. How do
How?
they manage families, kids, partners? That's so interesting for me because right now I'm enjoying being single. It feels so easy. Like it's so easy. I don't have to ask anyone, tell anyone, and I rely on myself, and it feels, what if someone comes? Will I be able to like make a spot for that person as well in my life? You know, that's the question of the day.
Yeah, well, I guess if you have such a goal, you will get there. Speaking about perfectionism, like I call it always the perfectionism actually,
It is,
and I
yeah.
guess it's maybe coming from sports and like somewhere it's set it, and very usually what I hear also like to my side, like, wow, you have so like many ideas, you reach something and like so cool, and then you're like, yes, it is cool, but it's very also tiring to ourselves, like, okay, if I do that, I need to be in a year the best. I feel so the
Yeah.
same in that, and then yes, you actually even reach it, but like how much caring about ourselves, and yes, in relationships it's also the same. Like we usually build relationships with others the same way as we do with ourselves, and yeah, how caring it is and how it can be like growing something from there,
Yeah.
like from that way of relationships. Yeah, it's maybe good reflection even. uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that has been also a part of my journey since, as I mentioned, I haven't had a, like, in 7 years, never got sick or whatever, you know. It's because I feel like we push ourselves above and beyond without even a thought in our head, it's okay. So, for example, the simplest example, you apply for a competition and something happens in your life. And that has happened to me as well. And for me, there is no opportunity of not going. I will push it above and beyond, make my mistakes on stage, and afterwards regret it. But what we have to understand, there's always a choice to everything, and the choice should be making sure that you're okay. You know, as a person, are you okay with this decision? And in the long term as well, in little things, you know. That's why I think it's very common nowadays, the burning out and everything, because we're so demanding on ourselves, and we put so much high pressures. Even if you are having a job or you're a mom and you want to be the most perfect mom in the universe, you know, and you want to do all these cool stuff, and also not to lose yourself during that process and everything. And it's like, it's the same with job. It's the same with pole. You want to be the best pole dancer or whatever, but you can lose yourself in that process, because I feel like at some point, at least I was defining myself from what I do. And it's so refreshing when you remember to put that aside and look at yourself as just pure, simple, and raw human being as you are. And no one reminds you that better than your family and closest friends that know you before. Like even like before you started, they still love you. Like they like they appreciate, they respect you, but like, yes, the person we change, we're never the same, you know. But there's still some kind of core thing that, you know, they will always fucking love you. You can be the worst pole dancer in the universe,
And they
and
will clap there. Still.
finding that love towards yourself, the same love, if you like it, that is so difficult, you know. You step on that stage and be the worst fucking performance of my life. And still being able, you did good. You did what you could at that moment, whatever the fuck it was. Just appreciate your skills, your body, be kind to yourself. And once to learning that, for me, it's like, it's so hard. Like, I'm trying, and I'm better now, because I'm reminding myself that it's not a punishment. You know, it's supposed to be a joy of life, you know. And like you said, like the way we treat ourselves, we're going to treat our person. And it's so important to learn to treat ourselves in a way that you would want to be loved and love another human being, you know.
You mentioned about injuries, and I also listened to the interview which you gave many years, I guess, ago. I listened them all, and you also said you said
Jesus,
about
that was a long time ago.
yeah. You told that you didn't have injuries beside the diaphragma, and it's very interesting because I think we have very traumatic sports, and yeah, how you Jane that, like how it's possible, what helps you, what do you put attention to, yeah, like.
That's a good question. Like, to be fair, all the questions are really good and deep. I can say, like, I haven't had injuries since that period as well. So, like, pole injuries. I don't count as an injury if you smash your finger and it might be broken. It might be not. You just keep going. I don't think that's an injury. Like, but like, I didn't have breaks, actual breaks. Like, a blue finger is not an injury in my opinion. I didn't like shoulder pain. It always comes like, but it's nothing serious because like physiotherapy, dry needling, that's what I normally do. But I feel, for me, I'm just lucky that my background was swimming. So that's why my back and my shoulders are so strong. In a sense, they can hold the weight and the load. But I feel one of the most important things that saved me from injuring myself is gym. If I would not go to the gym, go to the gym. You know the video? No, you don't know the video? So much funny. That's my favorite
We need
video.
to find it.
You need to find that video. It's so fucking funny. But I always say this, like, 'cause I don't do both sides equally. And for me, I don't do also pole conditioning. My conditioning is gym. I condition both sides equally in the gym, so that's how I level out everything. I do single leg work, single arm works, then I do both and everything. Like pull-ups and everything, you have to pull up with both hands. And you would feel, yeah, right wants to pull more, but no, there's both hands. So it's kind of like that has balanced me out and saved me from many injuries, I think. It's a proper training programs. In 10 years, for 10 years, I was writing my own training programs, considering my sport and what I want to improve. Like explosive power. Like for me, I've been giving an explosive power gift. I'm not a good runner on anything, endurance sports, not so much. But I think I was good in powerlifting because of my explosive power. So, and I was putting a lot of attention to jumps and plyometric kind of exercises, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love power spins, and that's why my push-up strength maybe is strong, and I can jump and touch height of the pole higher, you know, because I worked on that. I wasn't born with it, but asking that from a person that has never jumped before is kind of hard. They just can't, you know, and but it's not. It's like they can try, but the problem what starts is how many reps have you given to that joint, to that muscle group, to make sure if you give 3 more on the pole that you will not get an injury. So I have seen the most injuries are the most stupid ones. Landing. Landing stupid is one of the most common injury that I think I have seen, because negative power work or stuff like that, you know, putting attention to actually to the smaller things, because people go to the gym, for example, well, I did the same, you know, you want to do RNX, so that's what you train. But I think it has to be looked from the other way around, yeah. you train the parts that are holding the load in a different sense. Like you can train your shoulders, whatever, yeah, but you have to start with the core. Like, and you have to start with the exercises that, for example, your shoulders are taking so much load. Okay, how can I not fuck myself up if I'm gonna do 10 iron X's with the band, without the resistance band, whatever, on a pole, and to make sure my shoulders are not fucked the next day. So it's like, what can I do in the gym better? So my mindset has always been like through that kind of scale. How can I not fuck myself up on the pole? So I was strengthening my back with so many exercises. I was following the knees over toes guy to make sure I don't fuck up my knees. What kind of exercises I can do to make sure my knees work well? Ankle mobility, ankle stability, hip mobility, hip stability, shoulder mobility, shoulder stability. Like I was like all the time focusing on those things. But it's like small exercises versus big exercises versus functional versus also holding the weights and working with the resistance to make sure my body can go through the load I give it. And that's why, like, when I could do like 2 hours in a row pure power spins, and my shoulders would feel completely fine the next day. Some people would not make it 30 minutes and they would be like, oh, my shoulders are. Yes, because like you haven't done it before. Like that's the thing that I train. If I would do like bendy tricks, like I would do one or two and I'm like, no, because I don't twist my body in those ways. And I've always been like this. I will challenge myself with twisty, crazy moves, but I also know like those are the moves that my body gets injured, could get injured. Like that's how my diaphragm broke, like had a micro tear, I think, if you can call it that, because I was doing the ballerina and I think I wasn't warm enough. So, and I didn't open my chest enough, my shoulder was not open enough, blah, 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 all those little things that I should have thought about. And I just squeezed it in and it came off the pole. It's kind of a bit hard to breathe. Ah, fuck it, it's good. Next day, I was doing God knows what, but I was up on the pole and I found myself in a layback that I was like, I couldn't breathe in. And I slid down the pole and I was like, oh shit, did I break a rib? Like that was that kind of feeling that I broken a rib. So we went to the two doctors and they did a scan. And yeah, you have no broken ribs. And I found out that my diaphragm had a tear only once after. Like that could have been it. Still, like I did not know. I went to physios, he was taping it, but like nothing actually helped. And I was like, what did I do, you know? It was such a big question for me until I found out, yeah, I probably twisted my body in a way. So from that point on, I always was very aware of twisty, crazy moves. For some people, twisty, crazy moves are easy things, and power pole or some other stuff are the challenging ones. So I think gradually approaching your weaker area at that moment, if you want to get stronger in it, it's so important. And finding out, yeah, the moments, how can I protect my body? Like I cannot predict mistakes, but I can predict the parts that get mistakes. Like I have Googled over the years, what are the most injuries in pole dance? Like I have researched, asked students around which are the areas that get mostly injured. What should I worry about, you know? As you can see, I have a paranoia about getting injured and not being able to do what I do. That's why I started doing the stretcher mobilities. I was researching kinetic stretching. How can I stretch people in the safest way possible? Because like your body is the way it is already. You can't. You have to be careful of not overdoing it. You just have to be. Especially if I was working with 40-year-old students and it's like they've never done splits before. And how can I fucking ask that person now sit in a split and just breathe in, breathe out, and I'll push you to the ground? Yeah, you got it. You got just breathe. They're like, no.
Believe in it.
Yeah, mindset, manifest. Yeah, you know, like no, it doesn't work that way. It's the body. You have to work with your nervous system. And I think the same is on the pole, on strength-wise, injury-wise. You have to work with your nervous system. So if you're trying crazy new moves, break it down. Number one, like you have to understand, can I actually do this? How much does it take for me to do this? Like I've always overanalyzed, as you can see. Like I am an overthinker. I'm a fucking freak. But I'm like I think that's why I teach the same way. because everything I learned from my own perspective, in a sense, you know, and making sure you get yourself to that crazy point without, like, you know, we all been there, you know, when you're doing something and you feel like, I need to be really lucky to not fuck this up. You know, when you do something and you really rely on luck, that you're not gonna fuck it up. Like, for example, the first time I did the fucking flyby, I was learning it from an Instagram video, like, and it was ridiculous. I was like, and I was like, my hand was already getting weird, the lower one, because I couldn't let it go and other stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I was just like, at some point, I talked to myself for a long time. I tried it for a long time before the first grip happened, and I was like, fuck it, you have to let this arm, like I was telling you, fuck it, you have to let this arm go. You have to let this arm go. So I let it go just because I told myself to let it go, but my nervous system was really, why are you doing this? I don't know how. I let it go. I got the grip, okay? But it's still luck. It's still luck. There was no technique. It was just like, let it go. And mostly what I found these days, that many people train like this. Mm-hmm. They see a video and they're like, fuck it. You just have to do it. And some people have a higher self protection mechanism. Some people don't have it, you know, and yes. That's how.
Welcome. Привет.
Вы еще болтаете?
Ну мы скоро можем закончить.
Я пошла куда-то туда, да?
What I found out since the years of experience of teaching and learning things, once you get older, you kind of like, luck?
Give me technique.
I don't think luck is a thing that I should be relying on now, you know? And you're like, technique. There has to be a way of either you look there, either this hand goes, there has to be a way to make you feel safe. And most definitely there is a way. Either through progressions, you know, you just have to give more progressions because the gap sometimes between this and this is too big. I was in one workshop, I will not call names, okay? But there was literally, progression was an exercise on the floor, okay, for some sort of a jump out, blah, blah, blah. There was one progression, you know, you just go lift the hips and swing the leg. And then now you do it. The gap is too big. I'm like, my brain could not comprehend. Of course I didn't do it because I'm like, there's no technique underneath. There's just, you give an exercise, which muscle to squeeze, but you actually, once you're flying, you're not squeezing it. You know, it's just like, it didn't make sense to me. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And then, of course, there were people in the class, some of my students were doing it, you know, and I'm like, you know, I felt bad for a bit. I was like, I can't do it. And they're like flying
Sometimes
out.
It just works, yeah.
But then I was like, yeah, because they're relying on luck. I'm not in a position anymore to rely on luck. And I'm like, if you don't give me the technique, I will just not do it. Or I will try to understand it myself, but then I need more time. Mm-hmm. And you don't go to a workshop to understand things. That's how I teach. When people come to my workshop, I feel like I need to give as much as I can at that moment. Not always we can, like we're human beings. Not always we can give 100%. And sometimes we have level this and level that. And then you have to manage and, you know. But in this specific way, that you have to give the information. You have to help the student understand it is possible. So you do step 1, step 2, and there is not step 1, step 2, and step 10. There has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is how you get there, rather than 1, 2, and now fly, you know? And it's like, because I can't do it, and I really feel like relying on luck doesn't work anymore. Because, I mean, the science of sport has evolved. It's kind of like, it is a science. Technique is a thing. And I feel sometimes people like, pole dance is a very, very challenging sport, okay? When some of the students, I'm like, I'm not strong enough, I can't do this, you know? I'm like, yes, you're not. But you're here to be. So trust the process and understand that if you would go to the gym and would want to, for example, squat 100 kg, would you go and squat 100 kg right away? Like, no. And it feels in the gym, it feels natural. to, yes, you start with the bar, then technique, then blah, 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 and then slowly put on the weight until you can lift the weight. But pole dance is a bit more complex because that's a skill. That's not an exercise. So it has to be like combined with that and that. So I feel like nowadays, I feel like instructors should put more attention to every single thing they teach in a sense of, did I explain enough? The good thing is about when you're teaching your groups, there's always the next day when you can come back to your group and you're like, okay, guys, last week was really shitty. You guys were terrible.
Russian style teaching.
I always do it, but as a joke. They know it. They know me already. I can do it. It was terrible, but it's good because it made me think, how can I make this happen for you? Because literally, there's nothing that why would stop you. You guys can do this. You can do this. You can do that. Means you should be able to do this. For example, what I was teaching then, and it's my job to get them there. You can't blame the poor students. They come to learn from you. If they can't do it, it's your fault.
Absolutely.
Well, not all your fault. They have to want it, though. It's a teamwork.
50-50, yeah. But
It's a teamwork. Yeah, it has to go back and forth, But
what are your future plans? And also, at the same time, we can say the last words to the audience.
Future plans. Oh my God. Okay, how can I be quick? So I want to be able to keep doing what I do for as long as possible by maintaining a good health. That's always going to be my top priority. So, and traveling like a crazy person might not help me maintain a good health, but I still want to do it as much as I can, as long as I possibly can. I would want to grow my online school with more connected to the students. So I actually stay more connected and present with them. I would probably definitely want to do some kind of teacher training, something, but nothing like with, oh, here's your certificate, now you can teach. Like, fuck that shit. I like actual like workshop wise and training wise with situations that we actually do face that actually needs to be answered, needs to be helped, that helps them with cognitive thinking. Because like, what's the problem nowadays? Sometimes especially newbies, they start teaching. That's because they don't know better. I'm not blaming anyone. It's because they don't know better, but they know one way. But like what we face nowadays, it's there are different bodies. Nowadays, we actually always face that. There are different bodies, and some bodies would not be doing some other tricks. There are different kind of limbs. Let's see Ilya. Yeah, he has longest legs in the universe, but he moves so fucking fast. Like, I still can't believe how fast can a tall guy move, But like, amazing, But I'm not talking about that. But for example, some limbs are shorter, some are like, people should be, I think instructors should put more note to alternatives, progressions, and being more wise and maybe sometimes more acceptable to the students that are not the same as, like, I feel like that could be a subject itself. Yeah, so teacher training would be one thing. I don't know this is just an idea that I have had for a couple of years. Haven't put a lot of thought to it, but I think I would love to do something like that. What else? Yeah, I would love to create some kind of artistic projects, but like that is still in clouds, something that I'm like, before we talk about it, I need to be more specific in my thoughts before I put it out, But that has always been something that sometimes something has started at some point, but like it didn't get finished. And so, yeah, but mostly, yeah, maybe get married someday. I don't know, like who the fuck knows? Maybe have babies? I just don't know. Like, but yeah, it would be nice to have a family. I'm single. I need to shut the fuck up. But yeah, but that's in like trying to be fast about it. But yeah, mostly like I love my job. I love teaching. I just want to keep giving what I can give as long as I possibly can. Yeah.
And any words to the audience who is gonna watch this interview?
Yeah, don't watch it.
They already did. If you're
too
at that
late.
point.
It's too late. It's like I send a voice message to Dan because he hates my voice messages because they are so long. I have a problem about that thing. And I would say it in the end. Oh, actually, you don't have to listen to it all. And I would say it in the end of that message. She was like, "You bitch, I already listened to all of it." Like, if you're an instructor, I would suggest to always try to stay inspired from your students. Like, I know it's sometimes hard because we are very demanding sometimes, or we think that our students define us by the skill, but our students don't define us by the skill. They do define us by the way they are as human beings as well. And I can say that from one thing, because all my students that I've had all through the years, the ones that have always stayed connected with me, are an amazing human beings. And that shows a lot. It doesn't matter, they can do the fucking Scorpio trick in three years or fucking one class. It matters because they believe in you, so believe in them as well. In a sense, like, if they keep coming back, they are fucking worth your time. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mic drop.
Thank you very much for coming.